Hello everyone. Now today we're here to talk about the recent horror thriller which is Pet Semetary. Okay, now I do apologize for making this review right now, well, as the movie has been out for more than a week, but this week has been a busy one, so hopefully you guys would still enjoy this movie review. Alright, so let's get to the plot. Now, Pet Semetary is about Dr. Lewis Creed, played by Jason Clarke, and his family, Rachel Creed, played by Amy Seimetz. I think that's how her name is pronounced. And their two adorable children, Ellie and Gage Creed, moving to a rural Maine from the bustling city of Boston, where they stumble upon a mysterious pet burial ground at their backyard, which contains an unspeakable evil. Later on, Jason resorts to unleashing it due to misfortune which could have been avoided if they had invested a little more thought in choosing a house which is not beside an open road, where there's oncoming traffic, there's no traffic lights or zebra crossing to regulate the traffic. I have no idea why would a doctor who is supposed to be a critical thinker on their feet to go with such a poor decision like this. Now, after watching this movie, what do I think of it? Well, I have to first talk about this plot. Now, I enjoy this concept that Stephen King plays with of reviving the dead, as well as teaching the lesson that being dead is always better. Yeah, this movie explains it quite well. It teaches it quite well. However, what I find stupid about his story, first of all, would be that the main antagonist or the antagonists in this movie is not the evil lurking in the burial ground. No, it is not. Now, I think that the main antagonists in this movie are the semi-trailer trucks. They are the main cause of all the chaos and the horrors which has happened in this movie. Yeah, I mean, it is just really ridiculous. Now, if the trailer trucks weren't even present in this movie, or if they were not so reckless to be running over things, then there wouldn't be this movie at all. Having the trailer trucks to kickstart this idea of bringing back the dead, when this idea is, I think, really, really clever. Also, I would like to add that, well, if Jason and Rachel would have picked if they were to went with a more intelligent decision, to pick a house which is not beside an open road, then this movie would not, this Pet Semetary would not have happened at all. I would have thought that at least the movie writers could have altered that part of the story to make it more realistic, such as, well, because the tragedy mentioned in this plot is actually one of the children getting hit by the semi-trailer truck. I mean, it's pretty obvious, it's shown in the trailers anyway. So I would have thought that a more realistic and a more rational idea would be, well, the children succumbing to an illness and passing on after that, or maybe meeting, getting involved in a road accident somewhere else where the parents went around. I would have been, those ideas I think would fit better in this movie. Because getting hit by a semi-trailer truck right outside their home just seems rushed and again ridiculous. And just when you think that, well, this live adaptation film bringing this idea into the movie, could not get any worse. Well, it does get worse. Now, fast forwarding to the scene when one of the children gets involved, getting hit by the semi-trailer truck and meeting his or her demise. Well, the child just appears to be unscathed despite getting hit by something as heavy and big as a semi-trailer truck, which could weigh up to 36,000 kilograms of weight. He's not even having a scar, a bruise. Realistically, in the least, most of the person's body would have been splattered all over the road. It would have been a real gory, bloody mess. But that didn't happen. I'm not sure why. This movie is rated NC-16, so I mean, it's not even PG-13, so why would they go with directing the movie like that? It's just kind of, again, kind of dumb to me. Yeah, It seems kind of dumb. Now, fortunately, most of the movie, apart from what I've just mentioned, as well as the epilogue, which I'll go into later on, was, I think, was just horrifyingly brilliant. The direction this movie took was much fitting, detailed, and well sequenced, especially during the distressing and dire scenes, which, in my opinion, was set just almost perfectly. The setting and cinematography of this movie also fit the ominous theme of this movie quite nicely, which, had me to really enjoy this film as a horror movie. Watching this movie felt like I was watching a very at least most of the movie felt like watching a well-written audio/visual book. Furthermore, many of the main characters in this movie, were pretty compelling in terms of their own backstories, experiences, and beliefs of the supernatural, which makes the movie more solid. Now, for the parts which I was scared of this movie, I was really, really scared. There was never so many times have I ever said or said, jelly cucumbers for so long, for so many times throughout the movie. I haven't been disturbed by a movie as scary as this ever since watching Mother, which is also a really great horror film. It was so scary that, people left the cinema before the movie ended. So yeah, if you guys are into horror films, also go catch the movie Mother. Okay, now that I've finished talking about the pros of this movie, now it's time to get to the final problem I have with this movie, which is the epilogue. Here's how I think the writers and directors handled the epilogue. Okay, so I'm just gonna put my mic down. Okay, just gonna place it right here. All right, just gonna place it right there. Okay, and get oops. And let me just get my pen. Okay, so pretend that this is the script, okay, and this is the pen that they're supposed to write the epilogue out. Now, this is how I felt that they handled it. Just like that. It went with one of the most corniest ways possible. And it seems to me that, those scenes, they had all logic just thrown out the window. Yeah, which was how bad I thought the conclusion of this movie was. It is comparatively bad to the ending that happened in the 2018's movie Halloween. Now, if I was given a book, which is if I was given a Pet Semetary novel, which is this movie's version of Pet Semetary, okay, for example, this is the book of 2019's Pet Semetary. What I would gladly do is that, I would first put this mic down again, sorry. I would gladly turn to the page where the epilogue starts, alright? Get my scissors or use my bare hands to rip or just cut all those pages out. Because to me, those parts were kind of distasteful to me. Yeah, it was kind of distasteful. Moreover, there was one character who I thought was going to be part of the final act, that he was going to contribute something, because that character provided a number of the relevant parts of this movie, mostly in the second act. However, when it came to, the third act, he didn't even show up. There was no sign of him. It was like, it seems like I don't know. I've no idea what happened over there. It's like he was never even part of the movie. I was very confused because I was very invested in that character, and I was hoping that he would be part of the ending of Pet Semetary to make the ending, for me to like the ending much adequately, but he wasn't even there. Like, I don't know. I have no idea what happened. Well, why didn't they write his character inside the last part of Pet Semetary, the final showdown? So I think that is just the last things I did not like about Pet Semetary. So, but, overall, did I still enjoy this movie? Mostly yes. However, I was still disappointed about the problems I had about this movie because Pet Semetary, I felt, had the potential. This movie could have been one of the greatest horror films that I have ever watched, or there ever was. However, the directors and the writers, they ruined this movie so much that just doesn't seem possible anymore. Now, this 2019's Pet Semetary is, just under the same category as those. I mean, it just seems to be a bit part of those cliche and badly written horror films, that are, that are just quite distasteful. So, will I recommend this movie to anyone? Mostly yes, for the first 75% of Pet Semetary, not so much for the last 25%. Okay, if the last 25% just felt like watching 2018's Halloween. Yeah, it was, I think, that bad. It felt like the writers didn't care for the last 25% of this movie, as they thought that the 75 was, I think, brilliant enough, that they just, they just wanted to wrap up that remaining part of Pet Semetary. So I think that is all I want to talk about Pet Semetary. Once again, thank you guys very much for watching my review. Hopefully when you guys watch Pet Semetary, you will have a much different and positive opinion about this movie. And well, look forward to my next movie review, which will hopefully be Hellboy. And once again, thanks.